Wow, that was
Welcome, everybody, on this Monday evening to downtown Jacksonville, Alabama. That is the Apothecary Draft House, and that's where we are for tonight's edition of Jack State Live and the Rich Rodriguez Show. Hope you're doing well, and we welcome you into the Apothecary. I'm Eli Gold, and we do have a very interesting show for you tonight. We're going to talk with Jeremy Provence. He was with us earlier this season, the track and field cross-country coach at Jacksonville State. They've had some successes and a lot of things they're already talking about for next season. We'll update you there. We've got Ken Bodiford joining us. He is the director of the Marching Southerners, and that, of course, is a huge part of the tradition and the backbone of Jacksonville State University. And we're also going to be joined by Donnie Smith. He is the Sports Information Director for the Gamecocks. We'll talk about his job, where he's come from, what he does when he gets here. Lots to discuss with the man that you may have heard about and folks talk about, the SID. Who is he? What does he do? We'll find out on tonight's show right here. If you'd like to be part of the program, it is a very, very simple process. The phone lines are open to you toll free, 256-369-1688. That's 256-369-1688. Feel free to give us a call and hook up with all of us, and we'll tell you all that's going on. Let's check in on other goings-on around the campus. Jacksonville State's bowling team, you know the story, national champs from this past season. Well, they lived up to their preseason #1 ranking in Orlando, Florida this weekend. They posted a 10-2 record over the weekend, and they claimed the championship at the Destination Orlando Championships. That was over #5 Nebraska. So a great job right there. And by the way, in case you didn't hear, in the match against Stephen F. Austin, Danielle Henderson rolled a perfect game, and went on to be named MVP of the tournament. So our congratulations to Danielle and to the ladies as they take the championship there. Meanwhile, the Gamecock soccer team, tough break in New Mexico State. They were out in Las Cruces, and Jacksonville State was holding their own. Then New Mexico State tallied a pair of goals in each half of the game on Saturday night, and that was a 4-1 win for New Mexico State over Jacksonville State. And that game, it took forever to play. It had a big weather delay, a big rain delay that pushed the start back, more so lightning than rain. It pushed the start back about an hour and a quarter. They finally got it going, and then in the second half, another lengthy delay with just under 10 minutes remaining. So we've got all sorts of weather, and when all was said and done, the New Mexico State team picked up the victory 4-1. Jack State returns to action Saturday. They'll wrap up the home schedule at the Jack State Soccer Complex. The Gamecocks will face the Owls of Kennesaw State. Match time is 7 o'clock. And of course, as always, admission is absolutely free. So come on out and bring the family. The Gamecocks had a tough weekend in volleyball. They lost in straight sets both Friday evening and Saturday afternoon to the Miners of Texas El Paso. UTEP right now the tied with Western Kentucky as they are the top team in Conference USA. This week, the Gamecocks travel to Sam Houston. They'll be there for matches on Thursday and Friday, and all of the action will be available to you on ESPN+. There's lots to talk about regarding the cross-country team. We will do that when we jump into our conversation with the head coach joining us here in just a moment or so. But that's what's going on this week. And there you see the Southerners. They're also featured on tonight's show. We'll talk about it all when we come back. Jack State Live and the Rich Rodriguez Show, live from the Apothecary Draft House. We're back in just a moment.
What can you buy for $10? A hat? A milkshake? 166 channels plus live sports? That's right, for only $10 you can get 166 channels of classic TV shows and movies, including the latest news update from all around the world and local sports. Just simply go to 24ctn.com and click download, and then for only $10 you can have access to the best TV available.
Come out and check out the Alabama Tractor Difference. We can take care of all your needs of parts, sales, and service for RTVs, zero turns, and tractors and construction equipment. See us here in Lincoln at 620 Speedway Industrial Drive. Or come visit us here in Asheville at 275 6th Avenue, or give us a call at 205-594-7000.
I want to live. The leading cause of death of young Americans like me is gun violence, and oftentimes tied to substance misuse. NBA, NFL, NCAA, most of you look like me, and our communities need you now more than ever. Let's make I Want to Live more than just a hashtag. Let's make it a movement. I am a baller against bullets.
Welcome back, everybody. The Apothecary Draft House on the square here in Jacksonville. And this is Jack State Live and the Rich Rodriguez Show. I'm Eli Gold, joined to my right now by the head coach of the track and field and cross country team, and a man who has really gotten things going well for that program, Jeremy Provence. Good to see you again, sir. How are you?
Doing well.
We had you on earlier in the season, and you enjoyed it so much, you have asked to come back. But no, in all seriousness, I bring you back because you guys and ladies have lots going on. And today, for the first time ever, you guys were ranked in the top 20 in the national rankings in season, the U.S. Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association South Region Rankings. First time ever that you guys have been ranked. You were in a preseason poll a number of years ago, but this is the first time ever that Jack State has been nationally ranked. Congratulations to you.
Yeah, appreciate it. It's a testament to the work the guys have put in, it's a little bit of validation that the success we've had this year is, it's real. But we won't get too big-headed about it. We've got conference meet coming up, but it's definitely a really cool award for the guys, and they're excited about it. I think it's building a lot of positive energy. So, I'm really happy for them. Yeah,
the conference meet, by the way, Jacksonville State hosting Conference USA's cross-country championship at Choccolocco Park in Oxford. And that's where you had the season opening win earlier this year. I guess, and for the fans who don't know, is home track or home turf advantage a factor?
I think, yeah, for cross country it is. It's every course that you run is slightly different.
Right.
Some may have hills, some may be flat, some may have more turns. So, just the layout of a course, the footing that you're running on, the ups and downs, so the elevation change, it's a little bit, it's different and unique with every course that you run. So being able to compete at home, knowing the course, being able to practice on the course that we're going to be competing for a conference championship on, I think hopefully gives us a little bit of an advantage.
Is it a difficult course vis-a-vis others across the country?
It's not. It's a relatively flat course, minimal turning, and so that that again, like you would think, oh, it's an easy course, everybody should be fine, but it's a course that's going to go out fast, so you got to kind of understand how that feels and expect that in a race because it is super flat, it's a super fast course. So I think just having that mental edge of having raced there before and knowing what to expect will hopefully, again, help us, in the conference championship.
You know what else has to help is talented runners and talented performers. Betty had herself a school record this past weekend. That was wonderful to see.
Yeah, Betty has an unreal amount of talent. I've seen it, from the first day that I got here. And, cross country is not her favorite season. She is definitely more of a 1,500 meter miler. Yeah. But, the talent's there.
So this was what, like 5K?
Yeah, this is 5 kilometers on the grass, not her favorite event. But, again, the talent's there. She's got a ton of range. And, she's really bought into how cross country season sets her up to have a successful track season. And she's kind of bought into that concept as the training. She's really taken it, and I think it's definitely working for her. Obviously, it was a huge run this past weekend, and get a school record that's been there for 13 years is, just a very, very strong run for her.
Jeremy, let's talk about running on different surfaces. There are people listening and watching tonight who, might do a little running on the side just for fun, to keep in shape, what have you. But why is it different on one surface versus the other? Why is grass and artificial turf something to deal with? Why is she having one turf type that affects her versus another?
Yeah, just think about friction. It's just grass is a whole lot more difficult, in terms of the amount of energy that you expend to try to run fast. Right. It's got a lot more friction. And that does definitely affect the psyche of some individuals, and it obviously affects the performance and the times that you see. But, like the different shoes that you would also wear, there's different types of spikes for cross-country season versus running on the track versus running on the road. So there's just a lot of different variables, and it does take some experience to kind of get used to, the differences in the shoes and the surfaces that you would run on.
We've got a lot more to talk about with Jeremy, so stick around. You're tuned in to Jack State Live and the Rich Rodriguez Show. Want to join us with a question? 256-369-1688. That's 256-369-1688. Live from the Apothecary Draft House here in Jacksonville, Alabama.
I need to try it first.
The Civilian Marksmanship Program, also known as CMP, is a national organization dedicated to training and educating U.S. citizens in responsible uses of firearms and air guns through gun safety training, marksmanship training, and competitions. Their vision is to lead the nation in marksmanship excellence, providing safe, high-quality, and innovative programs with a focus on youth. For more information about the CMP and upcoming events, visit thecmp.org.
Eli Gold here, ready for a winning drive? Go see my friends at Cooper Chevy Buick. Choose from hundreds of new Chevys and Buicks, including a great selection of Car Bravo certified used. Score big with low finance rates and ask about their guaranteed credit approval program. Get top dollar for your trade, no matter the yardage. Your road to victory starts today at Cooper Chevrolet Buick in Anniston or online, cooperchevrolet.com. Official sponsor of JSU Athletics.
Grub Mart and Young Oil, serving East Alabama for over 80 years. Come into one of our many locations throughout East Alabama and try our Joe Bell's coffee along with some Olio's donuts. From Center to Jacksonville to Auburn and everywhere in between, Grub Mart is here for you.
I need to try it first.
We are back at the square in downtown Jacksonville, the Apothecary Draft House, where we gather on Monday nights to talk Jack State sports. Jack State Live and the Rich Rodriguez Show. And if you'd like to be part of the conversation, 256-369-1688. Frank is on the phone here in Jacksonville. He has a question for the coach. Hello, Frank.
Is recruiting for the men's cross-country team more difficult due to the absence of a men's track and field team?
Yeah, that's a great question. It does make it a little more challenging. You know, I don't know the percentage, but I would say, you know, 95%, maybe 99% of your high school distance runners are also running, you know, spring track and field, even indoors. So, yeah, you know, it makes it difficult. You gotta make sure you find the right type of person that fits, you know, the setup that we have here at Jacksonville State, and obviously sell the success that we're having, and you know, the coaches and the team that we have, and then the academic opportunities that Jacksonville State provides. So, but yeah, that's a great question. We get that question quite a bit in recruiting.
Do you really?
Yeah, so it definitely is something that one of those things that you just have to try to make sure you recruit the right individual for the program and for the university.
Frank, thank you for calling in. One thing about your roster, last year there were what, like 25 people on the roster. This coming season you're looking at 38. Where'd they come from, and why all of a sudden this giant jump of 13 athletes?
Yeah, so I mean, literally they've come from all over the world, you know, and I think, you know, 38 is not a large roster in track and field.
It is not?
It is not a large roster. You know, we were very thin in a lot of different event groups, and so, you know, there's a lot of different events that you can attest in track and field, and you know, we have you know, certain events that we have kind of focused on based on the expertise of our coaching staff, but we were very thin in certain areas. So I feel like now we finally have some depth, and we have some competition in practice. And then also we've got the ability at meets to, you know, have individuals focus on their individual events, but also have individuals that can maybe focus more on the relay events. And so it just gives us a lot more opportunity to hopefully be more successful when it comes conference championship time.
You can't, well, I assume you can't teach a person to run fast. I mean, there's nothing in the world you could do that would make me run the sub 4-minute mile. So what do you work on in practice, and how much do you want to mess with somebody's style if that's what's successful for them?
Yeah, I think that's the balance, is finding out what has what has helped them get to where they're at, what has made them successful up to this point. We also have the way that, you know, our style of training, and so I think that's the balance, is finding out what's made them successful and then incorporating some of that into the way we like to do things. But you know, it's inevitable. I mean, talent is definitely something that you have to recruit, and you know, that's something that goes for probably any sport out there. You know, the talent has to be there. You also have to have the individuals who are motivated, you know, have the right mindset coming in, who are very coachable, willing to communicate, all of those things. But you know, if the talent's there and the work ethic is there and the communication piece is there, you know, there's different things that, you know, we work on depending on what event group we're working with.
I think I asked you this when you were with us earlier in the season, but do you recruit from high schools? Do you recruit from clubs? What's the quickest way to success?
Yeah, I mean, high school recruiting, obviously in the United States, is, you know, still primarily what we're, at least in the sport of track and field and cross country, primarily what we're doing. From an international standpoint, a lot of those individuals are obviously competing on club teams. So it's a little bit of a mix. You know, a lot, even in the U.S., you know, high school athletes at the elite level are moving into kind of the club scene a little bit more, but it's still, you know, the high school kids in the U.S., there's a lot of talent there, and, you know, that's what we primarily will recruit if we're looking for a domestic kid.
When we come back, we're going to look at the schedule that was released the other day. We'll look ahead to this coming season. It's just around the corner. as we were just talking, and the coach says, hey, I don't have much time. We've got a meet opening up the month of December, so it's almost here. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more. Jack State Live and the Rich Rodriguez Show from the Apothecary Draft House here in Jacksonville, Alabama.
Whether it's family for dinner or game time, it's time for Johnson's Giant Foods Deli. All you have to do is drop by Johnson's Giant Foods and grab whatever you want hot and ready to go. Chicken salad and chicken fingers to die for. Savory ribs, salad, dessert, you name it. It's waiting for you and your family or friends. Johnson's Giant Foods with 5 locations in Gadsden, Attala, Jacksonville, and Coldwater.
From our earliest beginnings, Taylor Real Estate Solutions has been a part of the JSU community, serving as Jack State's premier property management partner, but our service extends far beyond management. With over 30 years combined real estate expertise, we are your team for buying and selling real estate. Our knowledgeable agents will guide you through buying and selling process with confidence and ease.
Taylor Real Estate Solutions, Jacksonville's hometown real estate team.
Serving East Alabama for over 20 years, Samco is your local convenient, clean, and friendly gas station. Fill up your tank with gas, diesel, or your favorite snacks and drinks. Samco has 48 locations to serve you in Calhoun, Etowah, Marshall, Talladega, and Cleburne counties. Samco is a proud community leader in giving back to help support local schools in East Alabama. For your convenient, clean, and friendly gas station needs, it's Samco.
The Point at JSU is an off-campus student housing property located a half a mile away from Jacksonville State University. The Point offers fully furnished, pet-friendly, 2 bedrooms and 4 bedroom units. Resident experience is our #1 priority, therefore we do offer the following amenities: a resort-style pool, fitness center, basketball and volleyball court, and dog park. We would love for you to come see our property, so give us a call at 256-376-8317 to schedule a tour today.
Jack State Live and the Rich Rodriguez Show from the Apothecary Draft House here in Jacksonville, Alabama on a calm 68-degree Monday night. Coach Jeremy Province is with us talking track and field and cross country, and you know, the outdoor season opens up in March. The indoor track and field season opens up, as I mentioned, the first week of December. It's almost on top of us. You go to Liberty to get things going in December. Are they good in track and field as they are seemingly in every other sport in this conference?
Yeah, Liberty is they're quality. You know,
Yeah.
they're really good. But you know, they've got a great staff. They've got a great facility. We're looking forward to going up there and you know, seeing them early in the season and just getting some reps in for, you know, some of the track and field girls that don't participate in cross country, and, you know, getting them an opportunity to compete before
Sure.
Christmas break.
And you see the schedule right there, the outdoor schedule for 2024 track and field. And I don't claim to be a well-versed on the strength of the other teams, but Mississippi State, NC State, Ole Miss, Georgia Tech, UCF, Vandy, I mean, these are quality schools. I assume they have quality programs.
Yes, we're gonna have our hands full at a few of these meets, but you know, it's what we need.
Who scheduled that? You?
It's a little bit of it's a combination. Our assistant coach did a great job putting a schedule together, and you know, we obviously talk about certain meets and you know when we want to put some big meets on the schedule throughout
Sure.
the season, but. You know, the thing that's unique about track is, you know, we'll go to Raleigh Relays, and I'm not sure how many teams. There'll be 100 teams there or whatever. I mean, it's just a massive meet. So we'll get to see, obviously, NC State and some elite teams, but, you know, there'll also be some you know, mid-major D1s, even some Division II teams potentially
Really?
there. So it's, you know, at each one of these meets, it's a, you know, there's a good variety of competition for everybody.
Now the outdoor season at the in Montevallo opens up in March, if I'm not mistaken. The talent, I don't even see talent level, but the likes and dislikes of the athletes. How much different are they indoors to outdoors? I mean, is it, I know it's 13 laps to the mile indoors. It's a whole lot different, but if you're good in one, are you good at the other?
Yeah, I mean, fast is fast, but at the end of the day, it just depends on what event group you're talking to. You know, whether you like, you know, if, you know, you're a 60-meter sprinter, you probably like indoor because you know it's going to be climate controlled and, you know, it's going to be good weather.
Sure.
Pretty much every meet you go to. You know, somebody running the 5K and having to do 25 laps might not like the indoor meet or indoor season as much. So it really just depends on the event group and really the athlete. But you know, one thing that you can't mistake: fast is fast, and so you know, you generally will see you know, those that are you know, good in indoor hopefully translate and be pretty competitive in outdoor as well.
As we continue to show everybody the schedule, give us a few names as to who we are going to be hearing a lot about this year as the seasons get going.
Yeah, so from the track and field side of things, you know, Haley Tucker, you know, is a girl that's coming back off. You know, she's coming off of a really good season last year, and you know, she looks really good right now, really fit. So I think Haley's going to be one. Shadima is another girl, a 400-meter girl who had a really good season last year. So you know, I would expect her to have a really good season. We're also returning 3 girls in the pole vault who have at one point all, I think, held the school record, whether indoor or outdoor at some point in their career. So, you know, we've got a lot of girls returning from the group last year, but we've also added some new pieces, some freshman pieces, and even some transfers that will continue to strengthen the group and I think really challenge some of the returners that we have. And then in those relays, in the 4x1 and in the 4x4, and even in the DMR and indoor, you know, I think that we're really going to have some squads that are going to be very competitive.
Well, we look forward to seeing everybody in action before much longer. Congratulations on the performance thus far. I wish you the best in the upcoming conference tournament, and all the best to you. Thanks for being with us again.
All right, appreciate it.
Good to see you, Coach. Jeremy Province is the head coach for the Jacksonville State cross country and track and field. He's in his 2nd season as the cross country coach. Upcoming this spring, the start of his 3rd track and field season with the Gamecocks. When we come back, we're going to be joined by the Sports Information Director for Jacksonville State Athletics. Donnie Smith joins us as we are live tonight, as always on Mondays, from the Apothecary Draft House here in downtown Jacksonville on the Gamecocks Sports Network.
At Southern States Bank, we pride ourselves on being your bank. We're your neighbors and involved in the community. We're the bank featuring the Southern Rewards checking account, a cashback account with no ATM fees. We are on the cutting edge and always have a smiling face to help you out. So come to Southern States Bank, where we are committed to great service and being a great neighbor. Let us be the bank for you and your business.
Hello everyone, Tony Russell, General Manager of Sonny King Ford. And boy, do we have unbelievable markdown on used cars that you do not want to miss. It's time to make the best deal on a used car. Shop our wide selection of used trucks and premium pre-owned models. Don't wait another day. Come by and see me, Tony Russell, and let's make a custom deal for you. Find great savings on pre-owned used cars at Sonny King Ford on the sunny side of the street, Anniston, Oxford.
At Campers Unlimited, we offer a no-pressure experience, no hidden fees, and great service after the sale, making us one of the fastest-growing RV dealers in the Southeast. With our 2nd location in Oxford, we offer a great selection of over 220 campers from top brands, including Grand Design. Our mission is to help friends and family spend time together in the great outdoors. At Campers Unlimited, you aren't just a customer, you are family. Check out our inventory at campersunlimited.net or come see us at Gaston or Oxford.
Hi everybody, I'm Eli Gold, and I want to invite you to tune in to Jack State Live, a look at the campus and athletic department at Jack State, followed by the Coach Rich Rod Show, where we will break down and preview the next football game for the Gamecocks. Welcome back, everybody, as we continue on this Monday night from the Apothecary Draft House here in Jacksonville, Alabama. I'm Eli Gold. This is Jack State Live and the Rich Rodriguez Show. Of course, with no game this past weekend, Rich Rod taking tonight off from our show. Nothing to review. He's spending time with the players, though, getting ready for this Wednesday's game against Middle Tennessee. But we are joined by the Sports Information Director for JSU, a new face, a new name in the family. And we are happy to have Donnie Smith along with us. Good to see you, sir. How are you?
Awesome. Thanks for the time, Eli.
Oh, I was laughing when you came up and I said, so you're the new, you're the band director, right? And little did I know, you said to me, you used to march in a marching band.
I did in high school for 4 years, spent 4 years as part of the marching band, did pep band, was in jazz band
What
as
instrument?
well. Saxophone, any version of them.
Right. And what'd you do during the game? How'd you perform and do your work?
Yeah, so my senior year, I was actually started to work at a radio station, doing some updates and things like that. So first half would be in the press box, usually sometime mid to late second quarter, head down to the field for warm-ups, perform the halftime show, get back to the press box, and then finish the report and head to our post-game show and give the report and then head home and rinse and repeat the next Friday night.
God bless you. That's wonderful. And you've done radio before.
I have, yeah. That's where I got my start in athletics, was doing sports radio in Northwest Indiana. And it just so happened my junior year of high school, my dad was a CPA in our hometown, and our team had made the football regionals, and they were starting to drum up some sponsorships. They called my dad and said, do you want to sponsor the game? He said, yeah. And by the way, my son, about the only thing he knows anything about is sports, and wants to get into sports writing or sports casting. Do you guys do internships? And said, yeah, come on up and have him meet us before the game. So from about that point on, in 2003, I've been blessed enough to work in sports, whether it be in radio and broadcasting or now in media relations and sports information.
That's wonderful. If you'd like to join us, if you have a question for Donnie, 256-369-1688. That's 256-369-1688. So how'd you get here from the Hoosier State?
Yeah, there was a stop in between in Lakeland, Florida. So spent the last 11 years working at Southeastern University, working in media relations and sports information there. And you get around a little bit and start to get involved in different things and meet different people. And then when the opening here was coming up, Greg Seitz, the athletic director, and I have a mutual friend that kind of connected us, said,
cool.
If you're going to be looking at a new job, this is one you should really consider. And that person said, as this position opens, this is somebody you might want to talk to. So got on a Zoom call, and it seemed like a great place to work. Obviously, things are trending up here. There's an effort to be successful. So it seemed like the kind of place I wanted to be and work. And obviously, this is a great community with great people. They love football. I love football. They love winning. I love to win. So it seemed like a really good combination. Came up with my wife and did a visit and just instantly fell in love with the place. And I've been really happy and really excited to be here for the last 3 months.
Donnie Smith is with us. He is the Sports Information Director for Jacksonville State University. Now, with all the sports that there are on campus, do you do stuff for everybody? Do you delegate to others? How is your office set up?
We've got a great staff that I've got to know, and just incredibly blessed to work with them. So we've got 4 of us that can kind of divide and conquer a little bit. So Tony Schmidt handles our women's soccer as well as our rifle and baseball. Bryce Balch, another new face in our department, works with track and cross country as well as men's basketball and softball. And then Preston Odom, who you've gotten to know working with volleyball. He has women's basketball and tennis as well. And then that leaves me with football, men's and women's golf, and then our defending national champion bowling team. So I can kind of focus my efforts there, but obviously as things come up across the board, I'm there to help and kind of help that group along as they need it.
Now, your basic job requirements on a given week. I know you put out pages and pages of notes for the media. What else is there involved in getting ready for a major event?
Sure, there's the media relations side, as you're alluding to. coming up on Wednesday, ESPN2 is broadcasting the football game. So
Right.
working with Clay Matvick and Coach Steve Adazio and making sure that they have all their questions answered, getting their logistics set up, any questions that they have with their broadcast location or things like that, working with the producer on getting meetings set up with coaches and players and all the pregame interviews, any postgame requests, if there's a halftime interview, things like that, and just trying to make sure the right people are in the right place. There's also the statistical side of it. We're in charge of reporting all the stats to the NCAA and taking those as well. So we've got a team in game that has to chart every play, who caught it, where did they catch it, where were they tackled, who tackled them. Basically everything is charted in real time as is. So it's not going back and saying, hey, it looked like this person had 3 more tackles and you just hit +3 next to them. You have to put what play they got those tackles on. So it keeps things a little more legit.
How is it working with Rich Rodriguez? He's been around for so many years, formerly the youngest Division I coach at the age of 24. What's it like when you walk in and here's, the 7th winningest coach and active coach in college football, and you've got to work with him?
Yeah, there was a little bit of a pinch me moment this summer. We're out at summer training camp. I'm watching. It's like I get to work a practice with Rich Rodriguez and watching offensive line coach Rick Trickett, watching him take his guys through. You're out there and getting to walk Eli Gold around practice. So it's very
that and 50 cents will get you on the subway.
But no, it's a very humbling experience. And of course, coach has been at this a while, and he doesn't need my advice on how to handle media. He's great with the media and doing interviews. Has no problem doing them, lets the coaches talk, has players available. So really, I love it. There's not a better person for me to work with as I move into the Division I level than Coach Rich Rodriguez, who's been at it for so long and has been so successful.
How easy is it to work with the players if you have to set up interviews for a network or whomever? Are the kids receptive to doing that?
I think they are. The key is just kind of getting them to relax a little bit. I think there's obviously, you've probably seen it a little bit, there's some gotcha media out there, people that are trying to trip you up or whatever, but more often than not, the people that are wanting to tell their stories are there for the right reason, and it's just getting those kids to relax a little bit and realize that this person's on their side. They don't have to blindly agree and nod with everything that's being said. They don't have to jump right in with their answer. So just making sure that they're familiar with who they're talking to, what they're going to be talking about, and just put them in a position to be successful. Just ask them, is there anything you're concerned that may come up? Let's talk through this on how you may want to answer it and things like that, and just kind of be their ally. And I think some of that starts with relationship building, which obviously being brand new is a little challenging, but just kind of being the face out there and starting to get to know some of those guys. And I realized it at my last position. Once you get to know one guy, you get to know 3 guys, you get to know 5 guys, and it just kind of builds from there. So just kind of getting those first few guys established on the upperclassmen has been key.
Interesting point. We're spending time with Donnie Smith. He is the Sports Information Director here at Jacksonville State. When we do telecasts of whatever it might be, football, baseball, volleyball, whomever, we work with a lot of students. This is, after all, a university. Do you have students working with you, and how do they get involved if one might happen to be listening or watching right now?
Yeah, we do. They do everything from keeping stats in game. We have PA announcers that we're looking for, playing music, running cameras. Really, there's all sorts of different things. Obviously, social media is big with this generation, so having kids update our social media and stuff like that, there's opportunities there. And really, towards the end of my time at Southeastern, it was one of the things that I enjoyed the most about my job is you rely so much on them. You want to train them up and get them in a position to be successful and possibly set them up for an opportunity. And I think a lot of people may not realize that this is a job that exists.
Sure.
We need somebody to update the social media. We need somebody to write articles. We need somebody to keep stats, look at trends and things like that, and put these media guides and game note packages together. So, in the past, I've talked to a lot of class. I've talked to a sports management class here at Jack State and just kind of introduce people to what this field is and just try and get them excited about it and just kind of share why I've been involved and done it for the last 12 years and possibly introduce somebody to what they could do in their future.
Do you get positive response? Because I remember, growing up, you know, I had the New York, I was from New York City. I had the Post, the Times, Newsday. You had all of these papers. Well, you don't read newspapers anymore.
Yeah.
Are youngsters interested in this?
I think they are. I think people just consume their news a little differently now, as you alluded to. You know, I grew up just like you did, reading the newspaper when you got up in the morning, going to the sports section, you read the transactions, and now all of that stuff is available on your iPhone, on Twitter, and you just scroll right through it. So I think it's just a different way of delivering the same information. And you know, now there's a lot more of a rush to be first, as you know, instead of, you know, let's take the time and get the story and develop the lead and get it right. Now it's how quickly can I get it out and how quickly can I have it attributed to me.
Never let the facts interfere with a good story.
That's right.
You know?
When the legend and the truth collide, you go with the legend, right?
Well, some people do, yes. Donnie, let's discuss the national associations. I know you've been involved with what used to be called COSIDA.
Right.
They've changed their name, but it's basically the Association of Sports Information Directors all across the country. What have you learned from that? What has that association allowed you to do?
A lot. As you alluded to, they rebranded about 2 years ago, kind of going along with what we were just talking about. Now it's college sports communicators, just realizing that this job is so much more than sports information. It's about communicating and telling a story and bringing in the graphic and visual elements of that as well. And really just going to that national convention every year really kind of helped me realize what this career is and what this job can be. You know, you jump in that first year and it's just what can I do to survive? And you know, by the spring, you've kind of got it figured out. But then you spend the summer listening to the people that have been so successful in this job and develop relationships and ask questions. It really helps you kind of do it your way. So you can hear this idea from somebody at Ohio State and me being at an NAI school at the time. Well, maybe we can't do it to that scale.
Right.
But here are a few elements of that we can take and do in our two-person shop or have a graduate assistant work on or things like that. So it just helped me meet all the right people. The great thing about that is everybody's just kind of in their natural element. It's the summer, and they're willing to help in any way that they can. I think that's what's also unique about our industry is I think sometimes, you know, if two coaches get up here, they're not going to say, hey, how did you beat us last week? How did he run that route? What coverage were you in? But I think there's been so many times where I'll see something and I'll make a cold call. Hey, how did you do that? And they're like, well, we use this program, and by the way, here's the template for when you get it. So there's a lot of idea sharing and just kind of helping each other make each other better. And it's really we're all on the same team.
Sure.
Because for me to be successful at my job, I need Mark at Middle Tennessee to be successful at his job because we're going to rely on each other so much. You know, the home team's in charge of stats, and if I don't know what I'm doing, then that's going to make his job more difficult.
Sure. We've got a lot more to talk about with Donnie Smith. He is the Sports Information Director here at Jacksonville State. If you'd like to join the conversation, 256-369-1688. That's 256-369-1688. Feel free to give us a call. Our conversation continues in a moment on the Gamecocks Sports Network.
Hey everybody, I'm Bill Bubba Bussey, one of the assistant athletic directors here at Jack State and the director of broadcasting. We always want you to come out to the games. There's nothing that can replace the sights, sounds, and interaction of being at a football game. But if you can't make it, we offer several options to bring the action to you. Many of the Jack State games are broadcast nationally on TV. The other home games we produce in-house and can be seen on ESPN Plus streaming platform, hosted by legendary broadcaster Eli Gold. If you're driving or have your hands full, we also offer radio coverage through the Gamecock Radio Network. The coverage you hear from the voice of the Gamecocks, Mike Paris. Mike has put you in the middle of some of the biggest and best moments in Jack State history for over 40 years. You can find more information at jackstatesports.com. And for now, enjoy the game and go Gamecocks!
What can you buy for $10? A hat? A milkshake? 166 channels plus live sports? That's right. For only $10, you can get 166 channels of classic TV shows and movies, including the latest news update from all around the world and local sports. Just simply go to 24ctn.com and click download. And then for only $10, you can have access to the best TV available.
Come out and check out the Alabama Tractor Difference. We can take care of all your needs of parts, sales, and service for RTVs, zero turns, and tractors and construction equipment. See us here in Lincoln at 620 Speedway Industrial Drive. Or come visit us here in Asheville at 275 6th Avenue, or give us a call at 205-594-7000.
I want to live. The leading cause of death of young Americans like me is gun violence, and oftentimes tied to substance misuse. NBA, NFL, NCAA, most of you look like me, and our communities need you now more than ever. Let's make I Want to Live more than just a hashtag. Let's make it a movement. I am a baller against bullets.
Back at the Apothecary to look outside on this beautiful evening. 64 degrees here in Jacksonville, Alabama. And we have a gentleman at the microphone here to our left, Donnie Smith, with a question for us. Hello, sir.
Absolutely. First of all, Donnie, it is so wonderful to have you in the community and see you out at the hardware store, the grocery store, and everywhere else. Now, I'm going to get off of football this week. You said you're responsible for bowling, right?
Yep.
I walked in, I work out of Merrill Hall, walked into the classroom, talked to a young lady this morning. Danielle Henderson, 300.
Yeah, she had the perfect game.
Just crazy. Now, I'm a Jacksonville State University mathematician. Can you tell me her strike percentage going into this weekend? Can you tell me that? If you can't, it's okay.
Going into this weekend?
Yeah.
Well, 0. This was our first event.
Well, overall, no.
Good answer. Good answer.
I would say between 50 and 55%. But I asked her, I said, Danielle, have you ever done it before? And she said once. But it was an amazing feat and something. But she is so calm and cool. And I told her dad earlier, I said, she is just a fine young lady, as are all of our bowlers, and we are so blessed to have them.
It's a great team. I saw the O'Keefes in the lobby this afternoon when I was coming back from lunch, and we were just kind of reliving the weekend that they had in Orlando and just kind of talked about that Nebraska match. I'm sitting there watching it, and obviously I'm a little bit of a bowling novice. Once they put the bumpers down, that's not really my cup of tea. But just the way that competition was going, they got out to a 2-0 advantage, and then it seemed like the lane that was on the left became a little bit of a challenge as the match went on. So whoever was on the left was at a little bit of a disadvantage. I think Nebraska had to deal with a couple of first ball sixes. They had a split in there. So really, it wasn't just a cut and dry thing. Usually, if you're watching the World Series, somebody goes up 2-0 this weekend, you're hoping it's the Yankees. But if that happens, you're like, this series is over. It's never over. I mean, the match against Arkansas State went 7, so all of a sudden a newfound excitement and excitement for bowling season and what that team's going to look like.
I'll tell you, you're right. It's been a remarkable story. How much did you push that last year, this national championship run, for a first-year coach, first-year program? How hard and how in general did you push that story out nationally?
It seems like there's a lot of interest now with the success that they've had last year, and obviously with the O'Keefes being here,
Sure.
They're well connected and very well known. So it hasn't been too difficult to get some interest and things like that in bowling. Obviously, we even had some of the exhibition coverage
Yes.
picked up as well. So there's definitely, and obviously success helps. So there's been a lot of interest in them.
Let's talk about the football team getting set to play on Wednesday against Middle Tennessee. How tough is it for you when the team has a 5-day turnaround or they're playing midweek versus Saturday? How do you battle through the clutter that is put out there by every other university in America?
The 5-day turnaround's tough.
Yeah.
Because that week, your Monday became your Monday, your Tuesday, and your Wednesday.
Yeah.
So you're trying to fit 50 pounds into a 10-pound bag. But the bye week kind of helps reset that a little bit in my eyes. So we've had some time to kind of go through our notes a little bit more and dig into some things. So there's a few more nuggets in there this time than there was previously. But having that extra layoff, and then now we're kind of on a normal week. As you get ready for Liberty, you'll have 7 days before that one, then kind of a mini bye before that game coming up against FIU. So that 2 and 5 is definitely a challenge. It's a challenge for me, so I can't imagine what it's like for a student athlete who's competing in that game. But the bye week definitely helps that out.
And there you see the remainder of the football schedule, just sliding over to the La Tech, FIU, Sam Houston, and Western Kentucky matchups to wrap up the regular season before hopefully a bowl game is in the future.
Yeah, hopefully there could be a postseason game before that.
Yeah, you never know. We'll find out. Could be the Conference USA Championship, which is something that the team is still very much alive for.
Yeah, sitting towards the top of the standings, sitting at unbeaten in the conference play. Obviously, it looks like Liberty's a formidable opponent. Western Kentucky's a formidable opponent.
Yep.
Watching their game against Sam Houston, the first half of that contest was phenomenal. Obviously, those are two pretty good teams. Sam Houston ran into some problems in the second half when the quarterback got hurt. But still, it could be a 3, if not 4-horse race here down the stretch, figuring out who's going to be standing in that conference championship game.
What happens when you sit down at your computer and you're staring at a blank screen and you've got to come up with a column or an article or something? How do you go through everything and say, all right, here's a story? Is that easy or is it difficult to do?
I think it gets easier as you develop more time in this profession. I think there were times where I'd look and be like, where do I go from here? Sometimes you think you've got a story, and then all of a sudden something changes. You've been in racing before. There was one year I was covering the Brickyard 400, and Juan Pablo Montoya had by far the fastest car in practice, qualified on the pole, and the Brickyard, it's not really conducive to stock car racing. So he starts on the pole, he's leading every lap, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to get out of here. I got a 3-hour ride home. I'm going to write this article now. I'm just going to plug in his quotes and be done. And then they make an announcement in the media center. Juan Pablo Montoya speeding on pit road, drive-through penalty. He's not going to win the race, so that goes into the story graveyard, never to be seen again. So sometimes you think you've got a story and then you don't. But just kind of looking through the roster and talking with your coaches and things like that, and trying to hear some of those unique stories and when and where you can bring them out is key.
We talked about Rich Rodriguez earlier. How much does he tell you that is off the record that you don't disclose, but you have it on background? Is he very forthcoming with that?
Usually, and it's always good to just double check. Hey, am I okay to share this with anybody? But more often than not, it's been mostly above board, and he's been very open. So that's never been an issue.
Yeah, it's some coaches are totally closed-mouthed, and others are very, very quick to share. But I was just interested to see what the deal. So tell me, in the short while you've been here, what's been the biggest moment or the aha moment, exclusive of working with Rich Rod? What has it been like getting yourself acclimated here from Indiana to the slight heat of Alabama and so on? What's it been like?
Yeah, the thing that stands out to me the most is the people. I talked to a friend back in Florida a few weeks ago, and they just kind of asked, what's what was the draw to this? And just the people is number one.
Sure.
Again, the passion for Jack State comes through in everything, and obviously just the beautiful scenery around here, and the small town environment is also unique. To have a Division I school in such a small town, I think that makes it much more special.
Yep.
And then going through that first game day was unique. Watching the Gamecock walk and hearing the marching Southerners, again, being that former marching band guy, it gets you excited, because to me, the sounds of the marching band, that's what makes college football. You can play all the hype music and everything you want, but there's something special about those rhythms and those tones on second and third down as the team's trying to march down the field. That, to me, is what makes college football special and those environments special, and that's one of the things that we definitely have.
Well, listen, I'm telling you, sitting here listening to you describe things, it's not a surprise that Greg Seitz hired you. You are outstanding, and it's been a lot of fun working with you here in the last few months from me and you, and I wish you all the best, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
Pleasure's all mine. Thanks so much for the time.
Always a pleasure. That is Donnie Smith, Sports Information Director for Jacksonville State University. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the Marching Southerners. Ken Bodiford, the director of the Marching Southerners, is here. We'll talk with him right after this on the Gamecock Sports Network.
I need to try it first.
The Civilian Marksmanship Program, also known as CMP, is a national organization dedicated to training and educating U.S. citizens in responsible uses of firearms and air guns through gun safety training, marksmanship training, and competitions. Their vision is to lead the nation in marksmanship excellence, providing safe, high-quality, and innovative programs with a focus on youth. For more information about the CMP and upcoming events, visit thecmp.org.
Eli Gold here, ready for a winning drive? Go see my friends at Cooper Chevy Buick. Choose from hundreds of new Chevys and Buicks, including a great selection of Car Bravo certified used. Score big with low finance rates and ask about their guaranteed credit approval program. Get top dollar for your trade, no matter the yardage. Your road to victory starts today at Cooper Chevrolet Buick in Anniston or online, cooperchevrolet.com. Official sponsor of JSU Athletics.
Grub Mart and Young Oil, serving East Alabama for over 80 years. Come into one of our many locations throughout East Alabama and try our Joe Bell's coffee along with some Olio's donuts. From Center to Jacksonville to Auburn and everywhere in between, Grub Mart is here for you.
I need to try it first.
The Apothecary Draft House. As the traffic goes by, we welcome you inside, and our phone lines are open, 256-369-1688. That's 256-369-1688. And this gentleman seated to my right may not be a household name to a lot of people, but to many, 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 he is. He's the man behind the Southerners and, of course, the great marching band here at Jacksonville State University. Ken Bodiford, good to see you, sir. I appreciate you coming by.
Well, thank you. Appreciate the invitation.
The Marching Southerners have been around forever, and they have represented everything from the university to the country to anything else in between. Let's start from the beginning. How'd you get here?
Well, I actually was a student at Jack State.
Right.
I came here in 1983 as a freshman. I was a part of the Marching Southerners and worked my way into a drum major position and got to serve that position under Dr. Walters.
Right.
After that, after my time at JSU, I went to grad school up at East Carolina University.
Mm-hmm.
Then I taught high school band in the Virginia Beach area of Virginia. I got a job after I completed my master's. And then shortly after that, the position came open here at Jack State, and
the rest,
I was
as they
fortunate enough
say.
to get it in 1994.
Yeah. How long has the band been in existence?
Well, the Southerners, they were named in 1956. There was a band, the Jacksonville College Band, before them. But in 1956, the organization actually became the Southerners and Marching Ballerinas.
Okay. Now, there's so many things to cover here. Let's start from how you guys are huge, as many marching bands are, anywhere from 400 to 600, depending upon which school you're talking about and who's giving you the accurate or less than accurate count. But I would assume that this is the largest on-campus student organization. How did it become such?
Well, you know, I think that we focused in a lot on recruiting.
Right.
And, we try to get the band out when we're not playing at a football game. We always try to take the band to do a couple of band exhibitions. So we'll go to these high school marching band contests.
Okay.
And then we're the big grand finale at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, we may have anywhere from 8 to 15,000 high school band students watching the Marching Southerners perform. So we have kind of a captive audience.
Yeah.
And that's our moment to really shine and recruit. And you know, a lot of kids, just like me, when I was a 10th grader, I saw the Marching Southerners for the first time, and I knew then I wanted to be a part of that.
So there's little Eli Gold sitting in a high school grandstand with his clarinet by his side, and he wants to be a member of the Southerners. How does he go about doing that?
Well, we have a 2-week band camp prior to classes beginning. And, you know, we invite anybody to come and audition for the marching band. Of course, you have to be able to play your instrument and be able to march in time. But our main focus in those interviews is the kid's attitude. Because when we have to work with so many students, we have to make sure we have a group of students that are willing to work hard and just have a good attitude. We don't want to have to deal with bad attitudes.
Sure.
So to me, that's the number one thing in the audition process that's so important.
We're watching the band in an exhibition right there, or a practice session. I'm not quite sure which. How do you, who does the choreography and the layout and all? Is that all you? Do you have a huge staff? Tell me about it.
We've got a staff of about 5 people, and we all kind of have our strengths. You know, like Dr. Jeremy Stovall, he's actually here tonight. He does a lot with our drill and visual, and also conducts one of the concert bands.
Okay.
Mr. Clint Gillespie, he's a percussionist, so he's the mastermind behind the percussion section. Rodney Bailey, he actually teaches in the English department, but he has done the color guard, the flags and rifles, for about 30 years now with me. And then we have Mrs. Noelle Stovall, who is one of our in the admissions department, and she choreographs the ballerinas. And one of our alums, Justin Williams, he writes all the music. He's our arranger. And then another alum from the 70s, Randy Nelson, he writes all the drill, all the movement that you see them do on the field. So we all just kind of come together, especially the 2 weeks of band camp, and we try to stay at least one day ahead of the band. So we'll work, get everything written, and then we'll teach that the next day. Then we'll work all night the next night, teach that the next day.
Interesting. So, I'll tell you, the band, I've seen it in my former home of employment, and I've seen it here. It's they work as hard, if not harder, than anybody on campus.
Yeah, they're a hard-working group of students, that's for sure.
Chris is on the phone here in Jacksonville with a question for Ken Bodiford. Good evening, Chris.
Hey, good evening, Eli. How are you?
Great. Thank you, sir.
Hey, Ken. This is Chris from Albertville, Alabama, former Marching Southerner. And just wanted to say right off the bat, thank you so much for everything you've done for Jacksonville State University and the Marching Southerners. You have absolutely had a stellar career, and you left a legacy that will be tough to follow one day. But just had a quick question. The Marching Southerners are so prominent in the Southeast, and tons of music education majors have come out of this program at Jacksonville State University through the years. Do you have any idea the number of music ed majors that have gone on to be band directors after graduation? Do you have any kind of numbers that the university's put together for that?
Chris, I would think that it's probably in the thousands. It's interesting that you said that because we've just recently put together a couple of forms that are going to go live right before the reunion, where we're trying to collect information on everybody that's a graduate that's a band director and everybody that is a JSU graduate that's a retired band director. So I am hoping by December, or at least the first of the year, we're going to have some solid data on that so we can let everybody know exactly where all of our graduates are that are band directors and how many we have out there.
Chris, thank you for calling in. A great question. Another question. Who decides, is it you, who decides what music you play? Who decides what the halftime show is going to be like?
Well, once again, it's a team effort.
It is.
And we kind of talk, and we'll come up with an idea, and then for instance, like this year, the name of the show is Joy.
Right.
And we just wanted to have music that's very uplifting throughout the entire show and hopefully make people feel good about themselves, at least for 10 minutes while they're watching the Southerners. And we always meet at my house, the entire staff, and we just everybody brings different suggestions, and we start playing the music. Our arranger's there. He'll run over to the piano and start putting stuff together. And, we've worked together so long that we can almost read each other's minds. And when we hear something and we know that it will work with the Southerners, we're like, that's it. And we'll hear pieces like, I don't think that'll work, but it's a complete team effort. It's not one person that does it. It's just everybody's input. And, we trust each other enough to know that by the end of the design process, we're going to have a package that's going to get the people on their feet.
Start to finish, from that meeting, that initial meeting at your office or at your home, to the project being perfected for presentation. How long does that take?
We usually start on about a year in advance.
Really?
Working on the show and show ideas. It may not be real intense, but we'll throw around, we may be at rehearsal one day and somebody say, hey, we ought to think about this. And we'll kind of keep that in the back of our mind or jot it down. And then we'll, at the end of the football season, usually in November-ish or December,
right,
we'll have our first major meeting to kind of shore up everything for the next year. And then we always release our show on Valentine's Day. So that kind of makes us work earlier. We try to get everything finished by then so we can announce it to the public.
Interesting. We're visiting with Ken Bodiford. He is the director of bands here at Jacksonville State, the man behind the Southerners, and outstanding group. What has been the biggest honor that the band has had? Was it going to Normandy? Was it going to a White House deal? Was it something? What's been the biggest, most breathtaking moment for you?
Well, I tell you, we've done some incredible trips, and this past trip to France when we played in Normandy for the 80th, that's something I will never forget. But I think the thing that we're most proud of is winning the Sudler Trophy 2 years ago.
And the Sudler, for those who don't know, is the top college band in America.
It's kind of like the Heisman of football for marching bands. And, as with everything, it's got some political influence in it. But normally that award doesn't go to a smaller university. It goes to bands that are on TV regularly.
Right.
Just the bigger universities. And so we were really incredibly honored when we got that award.
And who submits that?
Well, you're nominated by people that have won it before.
Okay.
And so we have been nominated several times, and this past time, we finally won it. A committee made the decision to choose us.
Well, they made a great decision, I'll tell you that, and we're spending time with Ken Boddiford. When we come back, we're going to continue talking about the Southerners, the Marching Southerners, and talk about all that's gone on and how much publicity it's brought, because this is one thing. You guys are like a walking, talking, marching commercial for Jacksonville State. We'll discuss that and more as we come back on the Gamecocks Sports Network.
Whether it's family for dinner or game time, it's time for Johnson's Giant Foods Deli. All you have to do is drop by Johnson's Giant Foods and grab whatever you want, hot and ready to go. Chicken salad and chicken fingers to die for. Savory ribs, salad, dessert, you name it. It's waiting for you and your family or friends. Johnson's Giant Foods with 5 locations in Gadsden, Atala, Jacksonville, and Coldwater.
From our earliest beginnings, Taylor Real Estate Solutions has been a part of the JSU community, serving as Jack State's premier property management partner, but our service extends far beyond management. With over 30 years combined real estate expertise, we are your team for buying and selling real estate. Our knowledgeable agents will guide you through buying and selling process with confidence and ease.
Taylor Real Estate Solutions, Jacksonville's hometown real estate team.
Serving East Alabama for over 20 years, Samco is your local convenient, clean, and friendly gas station. Fill up your tank with gas, diesel, or your favorite snacks and drinks. Samco has 48 locations to serve you in Calhoun, Etowah, Marshall, Talladega, and Cleburne counties. Samco is a proud community leader in giving back to help support local schools in East Alabama. For your convenient, clean, and friendly gas station needs, it's Samco.
The Point at JSU is an off-campus student housing property located a half a mile away from Jacksonville State University. The Point offers fully furnished, pet-friendly, 2 bedrooms and 4 bedroom units. Resident experience is our #1 priority, therefore we do offer the following amenities: a resort-style pool, fitness center, basketball and volleyball court, and dog park. We would love for you to come see our property, so give us a call at 256-376-8317 to schedule a tour today.
Welcome back, everybody, as we are live with the Apothecary. That's the downtown square here in Jacksonville, Alabama. Hey, don't forget, the Gamecock football team returns to action Wednesday. It'll be a 6:30 kickoff at home against the Blue Raiders of Middle Tennessee, and tickets do remain for the game at Amherst Stadium. And if you can't make it to campus, remember the Gamecocks radio network has all the action. Mike Paris and Ray Hammett on the call as per usual. And the TV coverage will be on ESPN2. Clay Matvick and Steve Adazio behind the microphone, so do check it out if you can. If not, join us here. That'd be the best way to do it, to see you right here. You know, a lot of people in the state of Alabama are pulling for different schools, obviously. One gentleman who I have gotten to know very, very well, if for no other reason than he is a big New York Yankees fan, but he is also from the University of Alabama, where I was previously, Dr. Ken Ozello. And I didn't realize that you and he had worked together.
Yes, whenever I went to, I took a leave of absence here at JSU, and I went to University of Alabama for a year and a half to work on my doctorate back in 2008. And it was just wonderful working with Dr. Ozello and the $1 Million Band. And I'll never forget that first day that I got there at band camp. Mm-hmm. He introduced me to the $1 Million Band, and he said, you know, this is Professor Boddiford from Jacksonville State with the Marching Southerners. And he said, just look at him as another band director here at University of Alabama.
Really?
And that's the way they treated me the entire time I was down there. And that's just
wonderful.
Learned so much from him as a conductor. And, you know, you look at the Marching Southerners, you look at the $1 Million Band. They're both great bands, but they're like apples and oranges.
Yeah, how is that?
Well, they have their own style. We have our own style. One thing that makes us a little bit different from a lot of college bands is we have the philosophy of doing one big production and adding as the season goes on so that we can really perfect that. And the reason we do that is because we have so many music education majors in our marching band. And they're going to go out and be band directors. So we try to do our very best to prepare them to be successful marching band directors once they get out. And, you know, and a lot of the SEC schools, they'll do a different show every week, which, you know, it's just a different style.
Yeah,
you know? It's not good or bad compared to us, but it's just like apples and oranges.
Dr. Ken Bodiford is with us, the director of the Marching Southerners. You mentioned before, and we really did gloss over it, you mentioned the other bands at Jacksonville State, the pep band and so on. How many different groups are there?
Gosh, we have, first of all, we run 3 full concert bands, the Chamber Winds, the Wind Ensemble, the Symphonic Band.
And is there any crossover of performers?
Yes, most of our students, especially the music majors, they do all of the groups.
Okay.
Or at least they try to.
Gotcha.
Once again, they're just trying to be well-rounded band directors when they get out. But we have the concert band program. We have the pep band, which is phenomenal. It's conducted by Dr. Stovall. They play at all the basketball games. We have a really big jazz band program here. We have 4 big bands and about 6 jazz combos. We have a brass choir, just a ton of different groups. A lot of people, they only see the Marching Southerners, and they think, well, when the fall's over, you guys don't do anything. Well,
not true.
We have 3 concert bands, 4 jazz bands. You know, really, the spring semester is actually busier than the fall semester for us now. Yeah.
That's interesting. So when you guys are out there as an athlete here at JSU, you've got 20 hours that you can practice and so on, because you've got classroom work and so on and so forth. Do you have a certain number of hours that they can play each week?
Well, with the Marching Southerners, we just practice an hour and a half a day.
Really?
We go from 4:15 to 5:45. And
it's not much.
No, it's not. That's one reason we have a 2-week band camp. Now, we do go from 9 in the morning till 10 at night.
Really?
For 2 solid weeks. And that's where we get the majority of the production put on the field. And then every afternoon, we're just kind of, you know, fine-tuning things. We'll work on our pregame show. You know, sometimes there's special events where we may have to change things. Like we had to do some things differently on homecoming this year because we had so many events on that one day.
Yeah.
So we kind of altered our show so it wouldn't take up so much time, altered the pregame, just so that we could make everything happen. So a lot of times you have those last-minute changes that you're working on through the week before the game actually happens.
Different elements of a performance, the color guard and so on. Do you have a special color guard division, or if that's not the right term, whatever it is that, you know, does everybody work together all the time, or do the color guard guys go and meet somewhere else and go through their stuff?
Yeah, well, you're very smart. You know a lot more about band than you let on. But like during band camp, I don't even see the percussion section until like the 3rd day or maybe the 4th day.
Really?
Because they're in their own little world working on everything they need to work on. The color guards working, the ballerinas, and then we've got all the brass and woodwind instruments teaching them how to march. Because what you have to realize, when you've got a band in Jacksonville, Alabama, that's 500 to 520 students, everybody has a different style of marching. They're coming from all over the country.
Right.
So we have to take those 3 days, the first 3 days of band camp, and try to teach everybody our style so they look uniform when they're marching. And that's quite a task.
What is your style, if you will? How would I know it if I saw it?
Well, it's referred to as a drum and bugle corps style of marching band.
Right.
If you watch them march, they're not really just walking around the field. They'll plant their heel, the toe will be high, and then they roll down. So they're kind of got that motion when they're in their feet. And you do that so the feet work as shock absorbers, and your sound is not bouncing all over the place every time you take a step. I know that's a lot more about marching band than you want to know.
No, that's fine. I'm finding this very interesting because I've been around marching bands forever, for 36, 37 years, and what little I have learned has not gone nearly this deep.
Well, we have to do that. If you notice when the Southerners play, they have that big, beautiful, warm sound, even when they're moving forwards, backwards, sideways. And it's all because of the marching technique being taught properly so that they're not bouncing around when they're playing.
Now, when you look at that picture right there that the folks are seeing at home, do you instantly, like a football coach, pick out the boo-boos?
Oh, yeah. That's the bad thing about being a band director, because you can't really sit back and enjoy it the way the audience does, because you're seeing all the little mistakes
that folks
that hopefully
like
you
me
don't
wouldn't
see.
notice.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
well,
the thing.
You know, we tell the kids, fake it till you make it. So if you make a mistake, don't show it. You know, try to cover it up as quickly as you can.
So here we are now, getting near the end of the season, close enough to the end of the season. What are you working on now?
Well, this week, of course, you know, we've got a game on Wednesday.
Sure.
And then the Southerners have a big exhibition in Rome, Georgia. They have about 30-something high school bands, and we're the big grand finale at the end of that.
And when will that be?
That's this Saturday.
Okay.
And we'll perform there about 9 p.m. on Saturday. And then the following Saturday, we host one of the state marching band championships here at Jacksonville State. So we'll have the 4A, the 6A, and the 7A bands here all day competing. And then the Marching Southerners will be the grand finale at the end, and we'll do an exhibition for all of those high school kids.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been quite the moment here for me tonight to, number one, to meet you, because, you know, you're like, you're up there on the Mount Rushmore of bands, but I've learned so much, and hopefully our viewers and listeners have done so as well. All the best to you, sir. Congratulations on a spectacular career and many, many more years to come.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And we're glad to have you here at Jack State.
Well, thank you. You're very kind.
Yes, we're
I
very
appreciate
fortunate.
Thank you, Doctor. Dr. Ken Bodiford. He is the director of bands here, assistant music professor at Jacksonville State. He has been around forever, and he has more and more to contribute as we continue on. We're coming right back. Don't leave us now. We've got a few more moments on tonight's show. We're live at the Apothecary Draft House, and this is the Gamecocks Sports Network.
At Southern States Bank, we pride ourselves on being your bank. We're your neighbors and involved in the community. We're the bank featuring the Southern Rewards checking account, a cashback account with no ATM fees. We are on the cutting edge and always have a smiling face to help you out. So come to Southern States Bank, where we are committed to great service and being a great neighbor. Let us be the bank for you and your business.
Hello everyone, Tony Russell, General Manager of Sonny King Ford. And boy, do we have unbelievable markdown on used cars that you do not want to miss. It's time to make the best deal on a used car. Shop our wide selection of used trucks and premium pre-owned models. Don't wait another day. Come by and see me, Tony Russell, and let's make a custom deal for you. Find great savings on pre-owned used cars at Sonny King Ford on the sunny side of the street, Anniston, Oxford.
At Campers Unlimited, we offer a no-pressure experience, no hidden fees, and great service after the sale, making us one of the fastest-growing RV dealers in the Southeast. With our second location in Oxford, we offer a great selection of over 220 campers from top brands, including Grand Design. Our mission is to help friends and family spend time together in the great outdoors. At Campers Unlimited, you aren't just a customer, you are family. Check out our inventory at campersunlimited.net or come see us at Gaston or Oxford.
Hi, everybody. I'm Eli Gold, and I want to invite you to tune in to Jack State Live, a look at the campus and athletic department at Jack State, followed by the Coach Rich Rod Show, where we will break down and preview the next football game for the Gamecocks. Final few moments of tonight's show from the Apothecary Draft House here in Jacksonville. Gorgeous night, 64 degrees as I check the wristwatch with the thermometer on it, and we are happy to have you along with us tonight. Let's take a look at what's going on around campus sports-wise and what is going on the road as well. Today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, women's golf being played on Mississippi State's home golf course. Then Wednesday, of course, 6:30. Football against Middle Tennessee, and as I mentioned before, there'll be radio coverage on the Gamecocks radio network. Mike Paris and Ray Hammett on the call. TV on ESPN2 with Clay Matvick and Steve Adazio. That's coming up on Wednesday. Thursday, volleyball is on the road. Dex Schroeder has the ladies in Huntsville, Texas, to meet Sam Houston State. Friday through Sunday, men's tennis at Samford. Saturday, the rifle team taking aim at Ole Miss. And then on Saturday also, 7 o'clock versus Kennesaw State, the soccer team in action. And Sunday in Murray, Kentucky, it's going to be rifle against UT Martin. But again, that will be in Murray, Kentucky, as you see the action coming up this weekend. And of course, it's going to be a big game on Wednesday. The football team against Middle Tennessee. Middle is not playing all that well, so it's an opportunity for Jacksonville State to get on the positive side and continue the season that started off slowly, but has picked up and has run forward and has gone nicely. So we'll keep you informed, and we'll see you hopefully at Amherst Stadium on Wednesday night. A big thank you to Jeremy Province, the track and field cross-country coach. He opened up the show with us tonight. Donnie Smith, the sports information director for Jacksonville State, he was here. And Ken Bodiford, of course, director of the Marching Southerners. That was the man who just wrapped things up. A big thank you to all of the folks here at the Apothecary. Los Mexicanos, they handled the Mexican food for all of us tonight, and we enjoyed it as per usual. So we thank all of them, and we thank you so much. I'm Eli Gold. We'll see you again on Monday of next week with another edition of Jack State Live. And
Hey everybody, I'm Bill Bubba Bussey, one of the assistant athletic directors here at Jack State and the director of broadcasting. We always want you to come out to the games. There's nothing that can replace the sights, sounds, and interaction of being at a football game. But if you can't make it, we offer several options to bring the action to you. Many of the Jack State games are broadcast nationally on TV. The other home games we produce in-house and can be seen on ESPN Plus streaming platform, hosted by legendary broadcaster Eli Gold. If you're driving or have your hands full, we also offer radio coverage through the Gamecock Radio Network. The coverage you hear from the voice of the Gamecocks, Mike Paris. Mike has put you in the middle of some of the biggest and best moments in Jack State history for over 40 years. You can find more information at jackstatesports.com. And for now, enjoy the game and go Gamecocks.
What can you buy for $10? A hat? A milkshake? 166 channels plus live sports? That's right, for only $10 you can get 166 channels of classic TV shows and movies, including the latest news update from all around the world and local sports. Just simply go to 24ctn.com and click download, and then for only $10 you can have access to the best TV available.
Come out and check out the Alabama Tractor Difference. We can take care of all your needs of parts, sales, and service for RTVs, zero turns, and tractors and construction equipment. See us here in Lincoln at 620 Speedway Industrial Drive. Or come visit us here in Asheville at 275 6th Avenue, or give us a call at 205-594-7000.
I want to live. The leading cause of death of young Americans like me is gun violence, and oftentimes tied to substance misuse. NBA, NFL, NCAA, most of you look like me, and our communities need you now more than ever. Let's make I Want to Live more than just a hashtag. Let's make it a movement. I am a baller against bullets.